you and you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching The Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Steve Scanlon. Sitting next to me is my co-host, Bubba. Welcome, Bubba.
How you doing, Steve?
Pretty good. Sitting next to Bubba is Joe.
Yeah, hello.
Joe who?
Good question. I never got your last name, Joe.
Joe
Is it
Dirt.
Kidman? Was it Hardcore Kidman? Joe Kidman?
Joe Dirt.
Joe, I'm not David
Joe
Spade.
Dirt had those mullet hairdo, right? You got a mullet under that hat?
No, mullet.
I never had one.
Leave the hat on, please. I don't feel like going bald or blind.
And joining us once again is Emma Lilly.
Yes, Emily, the star of our show.
As we thank you viewers once again for tuning in to The Inside Scoop. First things that we're going to do are mentioning deaths, as Joey has a death list of the last 2 weeks of who in the celebrity world passed away. So without further ado, Joe will mention those names.
Actress Estelle Harris, who played Jason Alexander's mother on Seinfeld.
What else was she in?
She also did voice work on Toy Story movies as Mrs. Potato Head.
Oh. Now, Mrs. Potato Head and Mr. Potato Head was made here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island from Hasbro.
Yes, it was.
And that's an interesting fact.
Yes,
As I'm
and
sure all of you
Hasbro
know
is
that.
still there. It's still there, folks. I
I was
live right
about
up the
to
street
ask
from
you
it.
that, Bubba.
Go buy it today, actually.
Singer Bobby Rydell.
Yes.
I believe he was a member of the Tokens.
The Tokens,
The band,
yes.
The Tokens.
I met Bobby Royale at the Big E.
Does he know?
What do you mean? I'm
Zeno?
confused.
Does Big E know?
Well, he's talking about the there's
sorry.
a Big E.
The Big E functions for going for 104 years out in West Springfield.
Right?
They don't want you out there because you smell too much like the horses.
Yeah.
Big E is like a festival.
It's
in,
an awesome festival. Big E is
Springfield, Mass.
West Springfield.
West Springfield.
Awesome.
Okay.
Sure. If you've never gone to the Big E, you got to go to the Big E sometime. I recommend.
Never been there.
Speak about Mr. Potato Head. Go to the halls of the states next to New Hampshire. You get a potato. It's this big.
Wow, I can make
With-
a lot of French fries with that.
No, with pulled pork in it. Oh my God, that's worth the price of admission alone. Now you get me hungry. Usually you'll get me hungry, but they get me thinking about the Big E. Not Big E Langston, you freak. Who else, Joe?
Actor Nehemiah Persoff. He's appeared in many TV shows and movies.
Okay, like what shows? Because I never heard of the man.
He did an episode of Gilligan's Island. He did an episode of Wonder Woman.
I think I know who you're talking about now. Do you play the mad scientist on Gilligan's Island?
No, he's the one that played that mad dictator.
Okay, yeah. I think I remember who you talking about from Gilligan's Island. All right, now I know the guy.
Yeah. He also appeared on Wonder Woman, and he also appeared on an episode of the original Battlestar Galactica.
Yes. Okay. I think I know who you're talking about now.
That's all I got.
Well, we got another name, the drummer of Foo Fighters, Taylor Hawkins.
Excellent drummer, one of the most underrated drummers in the world.
Died at the young age of 50.
Yes.
Now, he was also the drummer for Alanis Morissette, and he joined the Foo Fighters early 2000s, and been the drummer for them since. Now, they were on tour when
They're in
Taylor
Europe.
passed away.
He passed away in Europe, I believe.
And they actually stopped
Their tour
on
stopped.
their tour.
Yep, because of respect for their drummer.
Now, Taylor Hicks, I saw a couple of videos on YouTube. He sang a couple of songs, couple of cover songs from Queen. His favorite band was Queen. He did a couple of songs on stage singing Queen songs, and David Grohl took over for drums on those songs, and I saw those videos. Taylor's a pretty good singer as well. Besides being a great drummer, he's a great singer. And I've seen videos of Taylor and David Grohl doing TV shows as guests on the late shows. And it brought a tear to my eye because musicians are talented, and it's like their songs, a lot of people can relate to their songs in one way or another. So what musicians do, I have a great deal of respect for, because it gets to you, and you as a person like listening to different types of music, and to find out that person passed away, it's going to hit you hard. It's as if you knew that person, you know.
I said on this show, drummers, Neil Peart was the greatest drummer that ever sat in front of drums. I'm a drummer. I drummed years ago. I used to take drums. See, when Neil Peart takes a break, now Mr. Taylor could take over for him. He was a really underrated, great drummer. I mean, we lost Jason Bonham. We could be here all day mentioning great drummers. Hopefully with God, they were great musicians. I have favorite drummers. I mean, I listened to, every time I saw it on the radio this morning, I listened to Eddie Van Halen again from Van Halen.
Yeah.
They played a lot of, yesterday I think is the anniversary of the death of, who sang Free Fallin', Joe? Help me out a little bit.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty. Amy Winehouse. Jimi Hendrix. They could keep going. These are people who died way. Prince.
This week was
Michael
anniversary
Jackson.
too of Kurt Cobain passing away.
Yes.
As well.
All great musicians. I mean, their own. I kind of favor the rock generation. I mean, Luddy from Motorhead passed away. That raspy voice. Bon Scott from AC/DC, one of the more underrated singers of my generation. I'm showing my age a little bit, but you know, like wrestlers, I mean, these guys work very hard for you and to entertain us. I've gone to hundreds of musical concerts, and as sure Steve has, I'm sure Joey's gone to a few good concerts over his years.
I've never been to concerts.
They don't let you in, huh? Your beard from there too. But you know, is what it is. We got the results from WrestleMania, but by the way, I only missed one match, and I corrected myself. I thought I called them all. Thank you. Pat myself on the back. But I did miss one match, and we'll go through a list.
Now, before we do that, my favorite, I'm just going to ask you guys, what was your favorite match before Joey goes with the results? My favorite match was their Jackass match, where Johnny Knoxville wrestled.
That wasn't wrestling.
Sami Zayn, and
it was entertaining a little bit.
That was entertainment, but I mean, that was my
favorite match was Bianca Belair against Big Time Bex. That was probably the best wrestling match in the entire, and that was worth the price of WrestleMania alone. That was a phenomenal wrestling match, and the match between Edge and Seth Rollins was fantastic. I really don't know.
AJ Styles.
I really don't.
What? It was against Seth Rollins.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Very good. Seth Rollins wrestled Cody Rhodes. I just want to see if you were paying attention.
That was a good match too.
Yes, it was. The return of Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
But my favorite match of the night was Bianca Belair against Becky Lynch. Those two girls lit it up. I don't care. Anybody says that was the best match of WrestleMania. The most disappointing match, in my opinion, that I called, that was just, I don't like the way it ended, was the match of all matches, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. They ended that too abruptly.
The ending to that match.
It was too simple.
When I say surprise, I mean, I thought they were going to come with a different ending than what
it was too simple. It just like...
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let Joey go through our list, and we'll give our 12 cents worth in each match. Even Emily didn't like that match. Right, Em?
She wasn't watching.
Yeah, she was.
She wasn't.
Yeah, she was.
Get the WWE Universal Title Unification match. Lesnar against Reigns. Reigns won.
Yep, as I called. Thank you. You guys both picked Lesnar. That was the master.
Raw Women's Title. Becky against Bianca. And Bianca became the new champion.
As I called. Thank you.
Now, before you go any further, last week,
2 weeks ago,
she almost got her ponytail cut.
Yeah.
And I can't picture her. That's like her trademark, her long ponytail.
her husband actually gave her trademark. Told her, what I do with my hair? She says, tie up and use it as a prop.
Now, if Becky Lynch was to cut that ponytail, that would be a big loss to her fans and to her, because That's like a trademark, like I mentioned.
Well, she cut Becky Lynch's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Becky Lynch hair looked different.
Big time. I didn't like her makeup. She looked kind of odd, actually.
SmackDown Women's title, Charlotte against Ronda Rousey. Charlotte won.
Yes, and I think we all picked Ronda Rousey to win that match. I was surprised that they didn't give the title to Ronda. We're trying to see if Charlotte can get that 16-time championship, and I think Ronda's better than Charlotte. So, I mean, Charlotte is a better wrestler, but I think Ronda's a tougher person.
And she's more popular, too.
Well, Charlotte just plays a great character. I mean, love her or hate her, the girl can wrestle. She makes a match look good.
Yeah, well, she is the daughter of Ric Flair.
Woo!
Edge versus AJ. Edge won.
Who?
Edge versus AJ.
AJ who?
Styles.
Now, what gets me is after that match, there was a wrestler who came into the ring. I forgot his name.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest went into the ring and
Did you watch Raw?
No, I didn't.
No, then shut up.
So him and Edge, they're a group now.
Yes.
Okay, they are a group.
Yeah. They're forming a faction. Say they don't want to work with the sheep anymore. They don't want to work with the audience. They're both playing a character. I mean.
So they're bad guys now. They're heels.
Yeah. Punishment Martinez characters coming out of Damian Priest. You have to change things up to make it interesting in wrestling.
Yeah, true.
And AJ Styles is now a face. Almost. For Giant Khali of 2022.
MVP turned on Bobby
Lashley last night. Yes, he did.
And joined forces with Almas.
Yep.
Now I think Almas, I mean, besides having to learn more wrestling moves, I think Almas is going to be more of a person to mess with because having MVP at ringside, he likes to interfere in his matches. And
Almost doesn't need any help.
No, he doesn't.
Keep going, Joyce. We interrupted 15 times.
The Mysterios against Miz and Logan Paul. Miz and Logan Paul won.
And then the Miz turned on Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Gave him a skull crushing.
You could tell it was coming. The look on his face.
I think it's because of the whole Cleveland thing.
The women's tag titles was fatal 4-way. It was Carmella and Zelina defending against Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and Naomi and Sasha Banks and Natalya and Shayna, and we got the new champs, so Naomi and Sasha.
Which I call, thank you.
Yeah, I did too.
You didn't agree with us. You went with Rhea. I know because I watched the whole show, so you can't deny it.
Drew versus Corbin. Drew won.
Corbin won.
Sorry, Drew won.
He almost killed Madcap Moss with it.
Oh yeah.
When he cut the rope off. Shows you how sharp that knife is.
They twist that guy with a sword?
Who? Drew McIntyre.
McIntyre?
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Oh, the guy cut the rope.
So
what if he, I don't know. I say that's too dangerous a prop to bring to the ring.
Don't know. I like how he cut the tables in half of it.
He actually has cut the tables in half of it.
Yeah, twice now.
Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Pat McAfee won.
Pat McAfee won and lost because he lost to Mr. McMahon. That was a kind of a joke match, and then Mr. McMahon kind of got stunned out by some guy named Stone Cold Steve Austin.
For old time's sake.
Oh yeah. And then Pat McAfee got stunned out by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And he was still drinking outside on the floor.
No comment. Those Stevie Wises.
This was Skull Crusher or Skull something beer.
Yep, that's his beer now. It's actually licensed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. He brews it himself. He's marketing it, and he's not using Stevie Wise's anymore. He's using his own Stone Cold Skull beer, whatever they want to call it. I'll have to try it.
SmackDown tag titles, the Usos against Rick Boogs and Nakamura.
Boogsy got hurt. He actually tried to lift too much, tried to lift both the Usos, and he actually tore his meniscus in his knee. That wasn't a prop. It wasn't. Rick Boogs, unfortunately, will be out for about 2 to 3 months. I heard with an injury.
Which the Usos.
I like Rick Boogs.
Which Usos won the match.
Yes. Which I called. Thank you.
Anything goes match. Johnny Knoxville against Sami Zayn. Knoxville won.
Yes.
Sami Zayn got the big hand. Big slap across their face outside the ring.
He also took the big mouse trap. That match was a complete waste of 10 minutes of my life, but it was funny.
But that slap, though, wasn't as big as the Chris Rock and Will Smith slap.
Oh, yeah.
The slap heard around the road.
I think he should have punched him. I don't want to go into that. I really don't. If you insult the man's wife, he protects his wife's honor. I can respect Will Smith. I'd have punched Chris Rock if he insulted my girlfriend. So you would have punched him probably if you insulted Emily, your girlfriend.
Not my girlfriend.
Yeah, did you sleep with her? Anyway,
The Raw Tag Titles Triple Threat. RK Bro against Street Profits and Alpha Academy and RK
excellent
Bro.
match. That was a pretty good match too. RK Bro. And then they kind of joined forces back again. So the Street Profits are staying face. I thought they were going heel, but they're not. And they both attacked Alpha Academy. I have been called the black-headed lotus, so. By a friend of mine. You got the same build. Next.
Seth Rollins against the returning Cody Rhodes.
Yes,
Cody
which I knew
I
it.
can't believe it's been 6 years that he was gone from
Yes.
WWE.
Yes. Yeah. He started AEW and cost McMahon a little bit of money to get him back. And I've actually met Cody Rhodes at XWA in Providence. Shook his hand. Nice kid. I'm glad for him. I mean, I've said it on the show before. I think his father was maybe one of the greatest mics and performers. He wasn't the greatest wrestler in the world, but one of the greatest mics talkers in the company in history. If you actually go back to the Hall of Fame when Cody inducted his father along with Dustin Runnels, his brother Gold Dust, who's injured, by the way. He got injured in AEW, I guess, pretty badly too. I heard was it his shoulder or his arm he hurt pretty bad. He may be out wrestling.
This past week on Raw, Cody came out and showed a picture of his father, Dusty Rhodes, holding the WWF title.
Yep.
And he mentioned he was going to run it. But obviously his father passed away, so he can't give it to his father to hold. But that was...
it was kind of moving.
Promo he got. And I would like to see him, I think... A lot of fans would like to see Cody Rhodes win their championship.
He's a good little wrestler, but want me to give you God's honest answer?
Well, dedicate it to his dad.
He's a mid-curtain, in my opinion. He's not a guy that should be a champion.
True.
He's
Mid-Carter.
I mean,
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
He's not a champion. He's a great wrestler, but he's not a champion. Seth Rollins is a champion. Roman Reigns right now is a champion. Love the guy, hate the guy. The guy's a champion. I mean, John Cena was a champion. Stone Cold Steve Austin was a champion. Triple H, who retired, was a champion, a great one.
How's he doing, Triple H? Has he gotten any better health-wise?
He has a defibrillator in his chest, which is like a pacemaker. He's retired officially. He brought his boots out to start off day 2 of WrestleMania and left his boots in the ring as a symbol, as you know, of retirement.
Hey, Joe,
any other matches, Joe?
I don't think you mentioned Stone Cold against...
he hasn't gotten there yet.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, I thought you were done with your list.
No, I get 3 more matches. I got 3 matches.
No, we're talking. No, we always do. It's fun.
I got Bobby Lashley against Almas.
Who?
Bobby Lashley.
Don't know him.
The one that got beaten down this past
The
week.
Almighty won that match, though.
Yep.
Which I called because Bobby's actually becoming a face. I read that on the internet.
I was wrong on that match. I picked Almas.
That was added late, so we didn't have a pick on that. I would have picked Almas, but we actually did no official pick on that, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Another one that wasn't on the list before. Kofi, I should say New Day against Sheamus and Rich Holland. And Sheamus.
That was the worst match of WrestleMania. It would have lasted like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, not even. That was horrible. That was horrible. That was definitely the worst match of WrestleMania. New Day against Ridge Holland and Sheamus.
Now, Bubba, who is now in the corner of Sheamus, that was Pete Dunne from NXT. I don't recognize him.
Butch, not Bubba. I'm Bubba.
I apologize.
I'm not in the corner with Sheamus, although I like him.
I apologize, Butch.
Butch.
Butch,
Dunne.
who is in the corner of Sheamus,
boy.
is Pete Dunne and from NXT.
See, I mean, I
right?
get names all mixed up. He gets things that mixed. The only one who knows what's going on here is Joe.
Wow, that's scary.
Big time, isn't it? Go ahead, Joe.
What about Big Time?
Big time wrestling.
I like to see them again.
They're
Come
coming
around.
back.
Okay.
Not going to Pawtucket, unfortunately, because they're going at McCoy Stadium right now.
I wonder if they're going to go to Brockton, over at the Brockton.
I would love to see that again at Campanelli Stadium.
Yes.
Go ahead, Joe.
Are we done?
No, keep reading. We got. I want to get the independent scene before I crack
As
that.
part of the KO show, we had a match, Stone Cold against Kevin Owens, and Stone Cold won.
Yeah, that was a hardcore match or a false count anywhere match, something like that. No DQ, and Stone Cold just beat up KO. That was pretty funny. I love it. What? You want to see me kick this guy? Want to see me kick this guy's butt? In other words, went Stone Cold way. Kevin Owens, I mean, he played a character up to the point, and then pissed off Steve Williams, aka Steve Austin. Sorry, you get hurt.
He came out with his four-wheeler.
Yes, he did. Well, he had to go back in and get it. Any other matches, Joe?
That was it.
You sure?
Yep.
There wasn't one more match?
Nope.
Yeah, there was. You missed one.
What, Vince against Stone Cold?
Right. No, Vince against Pat McAfee. Technically, it was a match.
We already mentioned that.
We mentioned it, but it wasn't. You didn't list it. Vince won the match. Of course, McAfee's not stupid. He doesn't want to get fired. But the guy's 76 years old.
He still looks good for someone his age.
76, yeah.
Doesn't have all those muscles he had though before.
You don't have any muscles. He's 76. How many muscles you have is between your ears? He calls them muscles. Really? Really?
Hi, Miz.
Really? Listen.
I didn't know we had the Miz as a guest star on here.
Look who's talking here. Hardcore Kidman. Really?
Okay, now the Hall of Fame went down, and
that was awesome.
That was a great ceremony they had. Now, you done with WrestleMania, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a listing for Hall of Fame?
Friday night,
Yeah.
the Hall of Fame took place, and Joe, if you don't mind, could you mention the order of their inductees?
Quickly, because I want to spend a couple minutes on independent wrestling here, folks.
You know that they came out, or?
Yes.
Nick, if I remember correctly, the first was the Steiner brothers, inducted by Rick Steiner's son,
Braun Breaker.
To my surprise, Scott Steiner, when he was on the mic, behaved himself. He
Pretty
didn't-
much. Well, his brother kind of said something to him. Behave. Total story about Macho Man Savage. That was pretty funny.
I think Brian Breaker said something about his uncle with the microphone too for introducing him.
I've met Scott Steiner, so told you that before. Go ahead, Joe. Queen Charmel's next. Let's go.
Oh yeah, Queen Charmel, inducted by her husband Booker T.
All hail Queen Charmel.
I did not know. Her first angle in wrestling was with Kurt Angle.
Her first angle in wrestling was the WCW Nitro
Was
Girl.
it? Wrestling angle.
Yeah, two Hall of Famers were married to Nitro girls.
Yes.
Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
The other.
Isn't what's his name Hall of Famer too?
Actually, DDP's wife.
married. Kimberly was in charge of the Nitro Girls.
Yeah.
So you'll get your information straight.
Right.
Your hat's
I
on
didn't
too
know.
tight.
I didn't know.
He's giving us crap earlier, We'll give it back to him. Next
was the Warrior Award.
Warrior Award. I met Chad Gaspard, XWA.
Well deserving for that award.
Very well.
Sad to see him go. He saved his son's life, who was drowning. He went in and saved his son, but unfortunately he ended up drowning.
He drowned.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Yeah, his wife and son accepted. Matter of fact, JTG walked him out.
Yep. Which was cool. See him.
Vader was inducted by his wife and son.
I met Van Vader once. I met Leon White. He's a big, opposing man. I spoke to him for about a minute and a half.
He used to play for the Los Angeles Rams.
Yes, he did. He was a beast of a man. 425, 450 pounds easily. He was just a big man.
He was one of my favorite wrestlers in WCW.
He was wrestling in WWE too.
Yeah, but I mean, when he was in WWE, he didn't
I like
get
when he
as
wrestled
much
in
success
Japan.
though as he was in
Oh, he was great in Japan too.
WCW. Japan, he had a lot of
I was
success.
BP champion for a long time over there.
Right,
And
on
last
4
one-
continents, he was champion.
Yeah, I want to get to the independent thing, so hurry up.
And
Stop talking.
Okay,
And
it's
lastly,
time.
The Undertaker, inducted by the boss himself, Vince McMahon.
I don't care what anybody says. Undertaker is my favorite character in wrestling history, and what Mark Calloway said made a lot of sense to me. Those 3 things. He came out of character and he talked for 40 minutes. I've watched it several times replay. Just to listen to what that man said, it made a ton of sense to me.
Oh, when he talked about Mark Calloway.
When he came out as Mark Calloway, he says, I'm not going to be Takeaway, I'm going to be Mark Calloway, the person. How keep driving to move forward. I mean, respect the business, respect people around you. No, I respect someone like that because I totally respect Mark Calloway. I've met the man once. I think he said more in that 40 minutes than he did his entire career of 32 years of wrestling. Seriously, even as me and Mark. And he's a very educated man.
He's probably the most successful. Well, let me rephrase that. He had the most successful gimmick of all time. Many
Oh,
people
definitely
believe.
greatest character I think in WWE history. History. Only person who sold more T-shirts than him is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even John Cena hasn't sold as many as Mark Calloway. Well, the last couple minutes, minute and a half here, I want to kind of blow this out. On the 15th, there's match Fighting for the Green in Warwick. Yes, Warwick. Go on the internet and look for this. Fighting for the Green. It's a venue that does lots for children who've had problems in the past. WWE. We were supposed to have Jimmy Allen here tonight. He's a truck driver, folks, for a living. Maybe he got stuck in a delivery today. I don't know. He was supposed to be here with us tonight. WWE New England is appearing for the first time on Winthrop Street. I think it's 239 Winthrop Street in Taunton, Massachusetts on April the 16th. Now that show, the show is the 15th. It's stacking up to be a great card. I will be at that show. I hope to see folks from Attleboro go down to that show. Platinum City Gaming is a fun place to bring your kids. Places you can get food there, Steve. You'll be happy. They could bring Joe along. He could buy the food because he knows all the money. RWA, I know, has just announced a match for the 30th, I believe, of April. That's going back to Willard Street in East Providence, or down in Riverside. Support local independent wrestling, guys. It means a lot to me. Undertaker, Mark Calloway, before we even finish our show, thank you very much for your years of wrestling. I want to thank Steve for having me on the show, Joey for his lists, putting up with us. I want to thank our director, Austin. I want to thank Double ACS for letting us have this wrestling show. I've been pushing it, people. I've been saying it for years. Go see independent wrestling. For $25 most, you're going to pay $25 down to $10. You'll see some great wrestling. Thank you all again. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. God bless you all. Thanks, Steve. Let's eat.
I'm hungry.